Welcome to the channel all about economic board games. Today I'm bringing you a run through of Ark Nova, and if you want a shorter insight into this one, you can check out my overview I brought you guys last week. Now this game is, we can see the designer at the top here, and it's brought to us by these guys at the bottom. It's a 1 to 4 player game, so there is a solo option. It's heavier complexity, and it says it takes about 90 to 150 minutes. Good luck with that. I think this is sort of 2.5 hours plus, sort of sometimes 3.5 hours for this one. And in this game, we are running zoos. We're going to start from scratch, and I'm amazed I've got all this into the camera view. It's a really long extended board here. Now there's only me here as usual, and I've got a 2-player setup, yellows and reds. I won't go through everything. I'm hoping just to give you a flavour of how the actions work and generally what the game is about. So as I say, we're running zoos, and this is our little plot of land here. You start off on at this particular map A, and there's several maps in the board to give you a bit of variety, and you're going to be putting enclosures down, and they're currently empty. And once you place animals in there, you're going to be turning these over, and they might generate you more income. Potentially the animals you put in there will give you appeals. You can see here this, if I can pick it up, this mountain animal here will give you various symbols, like in similar games like Terraforming Mars and Underwater Cities. And you can see the enclosure size it needs to go in. You can see it needs to be next to a rock, because you can see there's some stones and rocks around the place and water. You got the costs here. You got a bit of an action you can undertake when you place it. And most importantly, at the bottom, you can see this appeal this animal offers to our attraction, essentially our tourists and visitors, is 4 appeal. And that's where you go up on this track here, and also gives you 1 conservation sort of shift on this track at the top of the green. And that's massive, because literally the game is going to the trigger end of this is when your 2 tokens meet somewhere around here, maybe depending which path you go for. But you got this appeal track as you go up on there, and you got this conservation track. And let's just say, you know, we've done really well on our appeal and we've crossed there. That'll trigger the game end. Everyone gets 1 more turn, and then you see who has the biggest gap. So say if these guys got to there, you take the lowest, so 76, getting ahead of myself here, and you deduct 76 from 88, and that's your final score. The odds are most people are going to be in negatives. Now that'll trigger game end, and whoever does that and has the biggest gap is the winner. But along the way, you're trying to acquire income from this appeal, because you can see if you're on appeal here, you're in this kind of, where am I? You're in this zone here, which is your income you'll attain when you get to trigger this break. So you'll be getting 17 income, and you're going to want to spending that to acquire more enclosures, because there's a cost for doing so. Get more animals into your zoo, because that's going to help build your engine, and there's loads of juicy goodies on the way. So looking at our board then, yellows here are going to go first because they start on the 0, reds are on 1 appeal, and you've got all these hexes. You're going to be placing a host of tiles out, and I can't quite reach them and put them in the camera view, but there's these nice trays, and you've got all various sizes, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and we've got a load more tokens here. So nicely organized. Some of them you've got specials. You've got things like this aviary. You've got, what else? We got this sort of farming, I can't remember what it's called now. Keep all your farm animals in there. And there was one other which is gone walkies, but it was like a reptile house, which I'll try and find and show you later. And those are special, and the iconography in this game is excellent. So looking at your player board, you can see it says here all the different standard sizes. You might not be able to see quite as clearly as I can, but you got a reptile house, a large bird aviary, and you can only place them down if you meet certain conditions. You can see they're in red there. And along here, if you want to increase in this association where you'll go in across to the globe, and you're sending your associates to get more collaboration of different universities, you can see they can go here. Not universities, associations. You can go to universities and get more partnerships there to acquire different symbols. And as you develop this board, those animals, you're going to turn these over. There's potential chance to get income from these kiosks. You can put pavilions in, which are these little ones here, which gets you appeal straight away, and that's all listed on the board at the bottom. So instant appeal. Kiosks are money when you have the break. there's a lot of information, folks. I think I could talk all day, but I think I'm just going to have to dive straight in. So let's kick off then. We have got 25 money as yellows. We have got these two kind of end game cards. You can tell by the icon there. We're going to look at these, and you'll only discard one when someone gets to this sort of spot here on the conservation track, or at the very end of the game, you can discard one then. So looking at these, we've got Research Zoo and Climbing Park. Probably not going to pick one at the moment. I'm going to see how my game plays, and then depending on how many rock icons I get, if I start doing well on them, I'll decide to keep this one. And you can see, say I have 3 rock icons at the end, I'm going to get 2 extra movement on the conservation track, which could increase my lead. This Research Zoo, literally these symbols here, which kind of the research icons, the more of them I have, the better. So you keep them secret for now. You don't have to commit to one just yet. I'll just put them out of camera view at the bottom. And yellows are kicking off then. So we've got these 5 actions, which is the crux of the game, and most importantly the strength above them. So you'll start with animals in number 1. These would have been dealt randomly and placed there, so slight difference from player to player, and you're going to pick one of these cards, and let's just go. I'm not going to play complete strategy. Let's level 5 sponsors, and I should add, these actions are dependent on what cards you've got in your hand, and these are kept secret as well. So you start with 8 and you're expected to discard 4. I am not going to spend hours mithering over which ones. I'm just going to randomly discard those 4 face up on the board, and the red players are going to do the same. Now, it will take you probably a little while to decipher which ones to keep, because it really does have a detrimental impact on how your zoo develops and that head start as to what income you can acquire. And there's a host of information on it. And I'll give you a few examples so it'll make sense when we start doing the actions. But essentially, this anaconda here, you can see the top left is sort of the requirements you need. So it needs to go in a enclosure of at least 2 sides next to water. So this current one we've got as a starting setup for map A is a free enclosure, and it is next to water. So we could try to put this animal in that enclosure. Now, we do have a requirement at the sort of left here in red. We need at least a partnership with one of these sort of associations, so we need to start working on acquiring one of these, which you can acquire from this board here. And it'll provide us with these symbols. Once we've placed this down, you can see a reptile symbol and this kind of North America, America symbol as well. There's also this sort of yellow icon at the bottom. There's a couple of tokens which sort of may affect other players once they get past this yellow line here. So a few nasties there, but they're not too bad. Once we get this down, we'll do this action here. The blue bits are for the solo play, so there is the solo option as well in this game, and we'll get 6 appeal more importantly. Now, once that does go no closure, you kind of keep it next to you. It says to sort of stack them like this, so you can see the icons at the top, because it'll give you all the information you need. And then we'd turn this over and we'd carry on. What else have we got? So we've got this conservation card. Now, you start with 3 base in the game, and in this 2-player version you do block off some of the donation spots, and it goes left, right, in the middle on this case. And what these are about, these will stick here throughout the entirety of the game, and you can add more. I can't quite make space for them yet, but you can add more up here. In a 2-player game, it looks like there'll only be the 2, and that gives you a bit of variety to try and achieve these. And these are all about potentially moving animals that you've reared in your zoo back into the wild, and you can get some nice rewards for that. This particular one says, yes, this one is to release 1 animal with an Asia icon and into the wild, and depending on the size of enclosure it's come from, you're going to get this number of movement on your conservation. So if you have an Asia icon, this sort of green one, let's say, I don't think we've got one, but and you did have a symbol of that in an enclosure of, say, size 5, you take that animal, you've released it back in the wild, you put one of your tokens here on this, and you can only do it once on that particular card. You get 5 movement on here, which can get you a load of goodies, and more importantly, you get to take one of these off, and underneath it you get benefits as well. And you can see there's a little bonus for moving 1 up on your reputation track there. So these are some goodies you can get out as well. And the other final card is these sponsorship cards, which are sponsor cards. They've got like a blue background and this kind kind of differentiation by this black symbol, which is the strength you will need your sponsor card to be played on. And these are great because they give you some extra perks, like place this adventure playground next to one rock space, so you instantly get this matching tile. And you can see those are sort of here, there's the host of them, and they're in there to put on the board for free. And that does nice things like give you some appeal, and you know, it fills out your board where you might earn more income from some of these kiosks and what have you. So the three main type of cards are the animals, the conservation cards or projects, and these sponsors. And look at the size of this deck, folks. So many cards. So we got 4 to begin with, and I'm going to pick an action. Let's go with, let's get some more cards. Maybe there's something out there I quite like, or should I just do it in order of play? Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Yes, let's do it in order of play. I'll work from left to right and see if that works out. Actually, I won't do that because there's a reason why I don't want to do that, and that'll make a lot of sense now. Let's go with oh my days, so many decisions. I'm going to go with can I do a sponsor card? Yeah, I think I can, because I could just about get next to that. Yeah, we're going to do a sponsor card because it's in level power 5, should we call it, strength 5. Now what that means is let's look at this sponsor card here. So you can either play one sponsor card with a maximum level of that from your hand. So I'm hoping to play this one here. I've got it at 5 and it only needs a 3. That's great. Or I could move the break token, so you can see in a 2-player game it starts here, up to the number of strength I'm on, so 5 spaces, and I would gain, this is the symbol for money, so 5 money. So I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, get 5 money, and I've sped up this particular break phase, which I probably don't want to do at the moment. I want to get this sponsor card out. So you play the action, and what you do is you move all your other actions, and this goes right at the bottom again. How clever is that? So now this is really weak, and you're hoping to do these actions to bump that up, and it sort of makes other things powerful. Now, we've met the requirement because it was on strength 5, and I am going to find this you can see the instant symbol at the bottom. So, oh my days, where is this going to be? In here. I probably should have thought about this before I chose that card. Oh my days. Right, I've got it. Have I got it? Is that the one? No, that's not the one. I probably should have sorted these all out properly before I put them in here. It's a sneaky little 2. Right, have we found it? No, we got the wrong. No, we got it. Is this it? Adventure Playground. I thought it'd be yellow. Well, I guess a playground would have a nice bit of green grass for the children to play. So we found the exact tile. So yeah, organise your tiles properly, folks. So this, we have to put it next to is that a rock? We place it at least on rock space. So we can do that, and we're going to place it here. Now the rules are that you can place tiles in this particular one, has to be adjacent to one you've already put down, and these kiosks are classed as buildings as well. So we can plonk it there. Anything you cover over, so all these little yellow symbols, you get a bonus. And in this case, we get one of these tokens here, which is a little X symbol. You plonk that up here, you can have maximum of 5 of those, and they help boost your power. So let's say you want to play this card and it's at level power 3, you could spend that to make it power 4 without actually having to move them. So we're going to put that one there. Great, we've took our benefit, and what's great about that is equally when we get to this break, there's a host of things that happen, including income. And not only do you get income from your appeal, but you can also get it from these kiosks dotted around, and there's certain requirements. You have to have at least 2 gaps between the next one you place. So these kiosks will activate any live building. So at the moment, no one's even going to visit this attraction because there's no animals in it. But once it is, we put say that Alaconda in there, yeah, these 2 tiles next to that kiosk are going to generate 2 income. So bear that in mind for some extra income. Okay, so we played the sponsor card, we put that down, we are done. This card kind of stays in front of us. It might come in use. I don't think you can quite see them all there. Most importantly, we go at 4 appeal because our zoo now 1, 2, 3, 4 has an adventure playground. So we've got 3 cards over to the red side. Now this keeps on going. Yellows have had their go, red go up, then yellow, red, and you keep going. And the only thing that kind of stops that is this breakout timer. And then you work through all these, which I'll hopefully go through, and then you carry on going till one player hits that trigger point. They've crossed those 2 tokens, and then you have one more go, as I said. So where are we? Reds. I've got these 4 lovely cards, and what can we demonstrate next for you? So we've done sponsors. Maybe, can we actually get a association maybe? Okay, association, let's demonstrate that one for you. So looking on here then, we can perform 1 association task. Now, you only start with 1 little dude in your kind of area here, and you can acquire more as you go through the game. And we have this in level strength 4, so we can perform up to strength 4 on this association track. So looking at what we can actually do here, we can't use this area because it's in red and it needs a level 2. So you can see various parts of the board. Well, not that one, this one, where are we? There's a few stuff on. Well, I think that's mainly it, really. But anyway, you see that symbol, you're going to need level 2 equally on your board if you want to venture into these 2 spots here. But what can we do here? We can't do this one yet, and I'll explain more later. For 2 strength, you could go up 2 on this reputation track. Would literally go 1, 2, and this is great because eventually you're going to get more benefits in these little yellow icons as you go along. And to access this area, you're going to need that card symbol upgraded, and it also gives you access to these different files. So you've got 6 files, and when it comes to attaining cards, you have more opportunities to potentially choose from. So do we want to do that? Do we want to go and establish a relationship with another place across the world, another zoo? And we'd have to spend 3 to go there. This one, we could do a strength of 4 to get one of these universities, and these go on your board. Well, it's reds, isn't it? And finally, you've got 5 strength to place a conservation card out. So let's see if they've actually got any. They could place this up, but they haven't got the strength of 5 because we're playing it from the 4. You could bump it up if they had some of those little black X tokens, but we're not going to do that. And you could also place a token on one of these for a strength of 5 as well. Now, before I probably forget, I'm not going to get a chance to come back to this, but in regards to these association cards at the top, if you do put one of your own down, you put it on the furthest left, and then when someone else comes along, that goes to the right, and then when another one comes along, they all get shuffled over, and that one will get actually discarded. So that's kind of how they work, and these stay the same at the bottom. Now, these will go onto your boards if you decide to acquire them, and they will get replenished like for like when it is the end of the break phase. You can see it tells you kind of what to do there. Now, we've got a strength of 4, and we're going to take this all the way down to 1 again. And we're going to spend that 4 on a university. Now, this one lets our hand size be a maximum of 5 when it comes to the end of the break round, because you can see we're going to have to go down to either level 3 cards in our hand. So if you've got like 7 animals or 7 cards, you're going to have to go all the way back down to 3, whereas this not only lets us keep our hand limit at 5, but gives us a bump up on our reputation track. So we're going to go for that one. This goes at the bottom here, and you can see as we get another one on level 2, you work away from bottom to top, we get a chance to flip one of these cards. And I'm not even going to go there just yet. I'll demonstrate all the actions and then show you how powerful they can be next. So where are we? So we send our little dude over to here. That's fine. We had the strength. Now, interestingly, you can come back here if you had more workers. And let's just say they did have another worker, and that would be from the bottom. You could send this out if you did the association action again on a future go, but it'd only be level 1 at the moment, and that's not enough because you need level 2. Now, if we did send another one out, hypothetically, we met all the requirements and went here, that's fine. But if you wanted to go back to the same spot, which you can do, you can see at the top here, it reminds you, you're going to need 2 of them to go back there. So 1 for your first one, 2 for your second, and that's it. You can't have more than 3 on one spot, but we're getting way ahead of ourselves. We've only got 1 dude yet. How do you get more dudes? Well, you can see on the board, once your conservation token gets to here, you get plus a dude, and that's the symbology for that. Equally on here, you can see there's a plus a dude there, and then there's a couple around the board there. So that's how we're going to get more dudes out. Okay, back. Oh, have I done that right? Yeah, I've done that one. We've got the token over to yellows. And let's demonstrate cards, maybe? Yeah, let's do cards. So this cards option, and it tells you, work your way down from the bottom, break 2. Now, this means we move this token 2, and that's how it's going to speed it up to get those various things to happen. Now, looking at the strength, we're in level 4. You work your way along. Level 4 says we can draw 2 cards, and we don't have to discard any. Now, you can see the weaker the strength, the weaker the action. So for level 1 strength, you're going to draw 1, but discard 1, which, you know, could get rid of some gump from your card. You know, as you get stronger, level 5 is going to let you draw 3 and discard 1. And, or you could snap. Now, if you're unsure about all these icons, you've got this really handy sheet, and it's excellent. Literally just search for the icon, it'll tell you exactly what it does. So snapping, take any one card from the display. any one card from any 6 levels, which is great, but you've had to use a level 5 strength, and your opportunity cost is not picking 3 from the deck or within your actual capacity. So at the moment, reds could take from these 2, or they could take from here. Now, when you do strengthen this card, you can see there's some juicy stuff on the back as well. Now, actually, I lied. It says here clearly, draw cards from the deck or snap. So we can't take them from the reputation track just yet until we have developed this card, and I'll go through that after. So we're going to shuffle these along. That was strength 4, which meant we could take 2 cards and we don't have to discard any. We take 2 randomly from the top. And what have we got? So we've got another animal, a Bolivian. Oh my God, I don't want to say it. Red Howler. You see it's got some nice appeal. It's going to cost us 12 money. It needs to be an enclosure free. We have got an enclosure free. Maybe we want to strive for that. And these are the symbols at the top. Now, these symbols then, you're taking these cards and you're trying to maybe snap early on in the game because you want to complete some of these conservation projects. And at the moment, this one's all about getting these Americas icons. And look, we've got this one here. That could be handy. These ones are about getting a different continent icons. So if you get 3 of them, you can go here. And this one's about Australia. And you want to try and get them done because not only do you get to take one of these lovely tokens from here on there, which gives you either recurring income or recurring conservation or something good every time break happens, which builds your engine, or you could get some instant bonuses, but equally you are moving yourself on this conservation track, and the sooner you do that, say if you get to here, you get to take one of these bonuses. So it's like a massive game of Ganson Clever for those of you who know that game. And you know, an extra worker, huge. You get to turn one of these cards, keep bumping it up, you get 2 more movement on the reputation track, you get free university. Now these ones, I should add, once someone takes it, they are off the board, so you want to get there as quickly as you can. So we're taking our 2 cards, we put them in our hand. We're fine for hand limit at the moment until we get to the break. That was their go done. Over to reds. Now what have we done? Association animals. Let's do animals then. So we are in a strength 2, which means we can play 1 animal from our hand. Now I haven't even looked if we can actually do so yet. We've only got 1 animal. Can we do it? Yes, let's have a go. So it says here we need an enclosure of at least 1. We've got a size 3, maybe a bit wasteful. It needs to be next to water, which it is, and it's going to cost us 9, so we're going to spend this 20. By the way, I've got a load of money tokens on the side of the board. So what do we get? 11 change. And it's going to give us a reptile token, which will kind of tally up and may come in handy later on. Is this really what I want to build? Because this icon isn't even shown in these basic ones. So I'm going to do it anyway. And this is going to increase our appeal by 4. And that was for red, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's no extra actions on it. It's quite a simple creature. It's not exactly appealing to my tourists. We flick over this to say that's now got an animal in it. Now, interestingly, we could have chosen to put this in the reptile house. So if we'd acquired a reptile house, which it can show you on your board, you can get a pet in. No, is it a pet in? No, reptile house you can only acquire when you've increased this particular card here to a level 2. So you could build a reptile house. And why that's useful, I don't think I managed to find one in the end, is because you can put more animals in the form of these supply cubes into the reptile house, and it sort of condenses your animals into one suitable place, so it gives you more options. Now let me just, I can't find the reptile house handy, but I'm going to show you this aviary. Let's just say you put this here, and this is to do with birds, obviously. You can see it's got these spots for cubes, so there's 4 spots. So this could take up to 4 animals, or maybe one of the animals requires 2 spots, so it represents the sort of size of the animals in the enclosure. But this is great because you might have to use, you know, several enclosures, whereas this condenses them. So and you have to count, once you place this, you have that one opportunity to shift all those birds in this case into there, and if you don't, then they're kind of stuck in their other enclosures. So that's a little bit about those unique ones here. But we have built this European pond turtle. We've paid our money, we've put it in the enclosure and turned it over. It's next to water. We keep this next to our sort of board area, and you're going to need a little bit more space than I've got here in the video because you want to keep an eye on these icons. Okay, and these are face up for everyone to see, whereas these cards are secret. Okay, we did animals, didn't we? So we can shuffle that one down. And over to yellows then. Build. Let's have a go at building. You can build one build with a maximum size of 4 strength in this case, which means you can choose up to a 4 size enclosure, and you pay 2 per space. Now it says here all the information is lovely, beautifully put in clear view and on the cards, so very delightful. You got available a kiosk, which is, there's already one on the board, but you get another one for the cost of 2 because it's just the 1 space. Now we could technically put this here, say, because it's 2 away from the other kiosk, and you can see it demonstrates that there, and doing so would actually give us a little benefit underneath. But we've played this at the 4, so maybe we want to go big. We've got an animal in our hand that we really want to get out. Have we got one? Maybe this Bolivian red howler, which needs a size 3 and get us more appeal, because we need more appeal because it goes up here and gets us more income when we get to the break stage. That is how much information you're having to process at once here. But am I going to go for this build and get, you know, more income just through adjacent tiles, and I go up on this reputation track, which I'd go 1, 2. I'm getting close to this one. I'm gonna do it, folks. It's a bit of a waste because it's a 4 strength, but I'm gonna do it. And you can't, by the way, build the same in the same action, you can't build the same building twice. I couldn't build several of these. Okay, that was very exciting. So we're going to build a 1. So we shift these up, we put that down, and this is a cost of 2, and it's equal. We've got to break a 20. So that's, what's that, 18 change. And we get a little bonus underneath as well, which is 2 movement up on, oh, it's yellows. I thought I was red. So yellow's already going up to here. Okay, I was getting excited. I thought red were going to go up and get close to getting this little perk, which is turning one of these cards over. Okay, over to reds then. We've done animals, association cards, sponsors built. We've done them all. Okay, that's all the actions, and hopefully that gives you an idea of what it is you're trying to do. Okay, now if you do manage to get one of these little increase, let's just say, where is it here? Reds have done really well. They've put a card down that's got them to here. You get to upgrade one of these cards, and on the back of them you've got the red side. So I'm going to go from left to right, building them. So at the moment you can do 1 building, and you can only build these things here. On the back, you can build 1 or more different buildings. Still the same cost, but you can now build a large bird aviary or that reptile house. And you can see on here, it reminds you that you need that icon as well. So, yep, that's what you could do with that. A lot more options. The card symbol turned over now gives you a lot more abilities to snap, a lot more cards come out to play, and you can draw cards not only from the deck, but you can do a mixture of either from the deck or from the reputation range. So as you get further up here, let's just say you're up here, you get to choose from these 4 files. You could take any of these cards, which is great. You got options, but not only do you have to pay the, is there a cost? No, you have to pay this file cost. So you can see if you want to take this mountain tap here, it's going to cost you 4 there as well to take that one. So that's the benefits there. More options to snap. Sponsors, and at the moment we can do a maximum of 1 sponsor on the back. You can play 1 or more sponsors depending on how much strength you've got, or you can take a break, which you could do on the other side, but only for you gain the amount of income based on your strength, but you get 2 times the income here. So that's a really nice way to generate income through sponsorship. Animals then, turn it over and it gives you more opportunities to get more animals played from your hand into play, so speeding things up. And equally on the last one here, you get an increase in your reputation track, which is nice. And you can also take from the reputation range, similar to what we did before with the where was it, playing the cards. And why is that? Oh, actually, I think I explained that wrong. Draw cards with a yeah, I did explain it right. But what it means is you can play a card from your hand, or you can just directly take a card within your reputation range. So let's just say it was yellow from here, and you say, for example, this animal, you pay that cost there, and you can play this straight away as the animal action into your area. So you're not having to do, which one was it, the cards action to try and acquire it. So that saves you an action, which is great. And it says additional costs to remind you you're going to have to pay those additional costs. Finally, association. And what does this do? So at the moment, you can perform one association. On the back, you can play one or more different associations with the maximum total. So let's just say you're on strength 5. You could spend, some more of these X symbols. And remember, you can only ever have a max of 5 to give you potentially 8, 9, 10. So you could spend that 10 to go, right, I want to do a 5 and a 4 or the same over again if you've got enough of these workers out. And it says you can also make one donation because you've accessed this symbol. It gives you access to this area, and this area here is about literally placing one of your tokens from your, or was it supply? Oh, I can't remember now. Is it from your supply or your board? I think it's from your player board. I might be wrong on that one, but you take it from there and you get one improvement. So the first to go there pays 2 money, and you go 1 up on the conservation track. And you put one of your tokens out there as well. I can't remember actually, but yeah, read the rules on that one, whether it comes from your player board or from the supply. And yet you can see as you go up, it's all of these spots are one increase in the conservation track, but they cost more and more money the later you get there. And it also says you may play conservation project cards from the reputation range. So if you didn't have one of these conservation cards in your hand, let me see if I can find one. This one, let's just say that was there. You could take that as long as you're within reputation range, and you could put it straight at the top here if there's more space, and you could put one of your tokens on there. Let's just say you release an animal from Asia and you get all these extra points. Whew, I am out of breath, folks. Okay, so that was literally all the benefits for turning them over. I don't even think I can play much for this. This isn't really much of a playthrough, is it? It's been a run through. It's been more of an explanation. Let's see if we can do a little bit more then. So where were we? Of yellows. Oh, I can't even recall who went. Let's say yellows. It's up yellows. And no, it was reds, wasn't it? Because we came back to them and we decided we'd gone through them all. Let's say they're going to do a break. They want more cards. Now, there's a reason I want to do break, because we want to move this one too, and I want to demonstrate this. So they were on strength 3, which means they can draw 2 cards. We're going to do so. Shift all these along. I'm just going to speed through, give you some demos. So 2 cards, take them into our hands. Let's have a look at them while we're here. So we've got a sponsor card in blue. You can see the level of strength we're going to need. And we've got this animal here. It's going to need an enclosure of 2 and money of 9. And it gives us some extra symbols, predators, and we've got Africa symbol there, 4 range, and it's got this benefit here as well. So we put those in our hand. Over to, that was fine, wasn't it? Over to these guys. They're going to go, let's have a look what they got on their hand. Can they play something? Maybe we can play this northern giraffe. Yes, I think we're going to do this. So we are going to play the animals card, strength of 4, which is fine. That allows us to put 1 from our hand. Shuffle these along. So we've got a free enclosure. Boom, we turn that over. We need to pay 16. We have just about got enough money. We've now acquired these icons. There's no more requirements. And we're going to go up 7 range. And we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4... 7 appeals, should I say, and we do the action. So boost sponsors. After finishing your current action, you may place your sponsors action card on 1 or 5. It's currently on 4. If I didn't really want to use it and I wanted to bump one of these up because maybe I wanted to start building, I could shift it to the 1 and it ups these. Or if I really want to increase it to 5, which I'm not going to do, I'm going to shift it down here and it can be a 1, which makes these more powerful. This stays face up in my zoo, and they're just slightly out of camera view. So that is done, hopefully. And there was no requirements to have that next to a rock face or what have you. Over to these guys. What can we do? Ooh, let's go for maybe building. Yeah, we should build. We've got a bit of money. So building, we're going to build 1 building. It's on strength 5. Ooh, are we going to go crazy? It's going to cost us 2 for spot. We have got some money. Let's look at our cards. We've got 2 animals. No, actually, we've only got 1 animal. Needs an enclosure of 2. We're going to go with an enclosure of 2. Now, it doesn't need to be next to rocks or water. So we are going to get a 2 strength. Where is it? Just here. Now, you can see the benefit already of having the other side upgraded, because build 1 or more different buildings. We've just spent a strength of 5 for, a strength of 2. Only a strength of 2 is required. We could have used the extra 3 to build a free enclosure or a kiosk or something like that. So let's shift these along, put that at the bottom. We pay 4 because it's 2 times the 2 spaces, and it has to be adjacent to either the kiosk or here. We're going to go here, and that's covering up an instant benefit of 5 more money. Money and income will be crucial. That's done. Over to these guys. Let's go and take a break. 1, 2, and it's on strength 4. That's going to get us 2 cards from the draw pile. Shift these along. Let's see if we've got anything interesting. We've got another conservation project. We need these research icons. How can we get those? Maybe we can go to the university and get these little symbols to add them here, because those icons plus icons on your cards plus icons, I think there's one other spot, maybe these ones as well that contribute to stuff. So icons on the association zoos, the universities and the cards you've played can contribute to meeting these requirements, and anything on the side as well, like this little one here. Okay, that's what that does. We can use that later. We've got a saltwater crocodile. Do we want to start trying to save up to build a 5 enclosure to get this in there? Quite expensive, but it gets his 9 appeal. So that's kind of what you're thinking. Okay, back over to the... have I done everything right there? We took the 2 cards. Yep, that's done. These guys then, you know what? I'm going to do break just because I want to speed it up. So 2 movement here. They're going to take strength for 2 is 1 card from here. Boom, done. These guys, let's just do a break. Not that they would have done this consecutively, but I want to show you what happens at a break. So 1 strength gives them 1 card, but they have to discard 1 as well. Let's just say, you know, they weren't happy with this card, and these cards would go face up on this pile, and there's certain cards that let you rummage through them and take them back. Then it comes back to this player. Now, let's just assume they did take the break card, which they never would. You come on here. The player to do so will get one of these little black tokens. Where are they? So they get one of these from the supply, and you initiate the break phase. Now, even if you go, say this card was break 2, it doesn't matter about the excess, it just goes there. So what you're going to do, step 1, every player has to go down, even though if you've got 10 nice juicy cards, 2 free cards, unless you have this university, which they do have, and that means they can have 5 hand limit. Next thing we do is remove any ×2 icons, which if you acquire these through the game, you know, they give you the action you've played twice, or any of these little sneaky Viper symbols, which I'm not really going to go through, but on the back of these icons, it gives some really good descriptions to what they do. A few little nasty things in the game. They're not too bad though. So you remove them. Next thing is you're going to replenish the university, so you can see at the bottom, tells you which ones go where, so they're always the same from around break to break. Then you're going to discard, and equally that's the associations as well. You refill them. You then discard these 2 cards, and it kind of shows you on the board. And now every time, importantly, you take a card, let's just say you had the ability to get a couple of cards from, you know, within the requirements of these files. You take one, you don't replenish, you then take another, say, and then once you've taken your go, these would all shift down so that, you know, they get slightly, well, more available, should we say, and these would get replenished. But at the break phase, you have to discard these 2, no matter how juicy they are, bring all these down, and then it brings a bit more flavour into the game. So that's that one. And finally, number 5, you will get your income, which is massive. You need this money to reinvest in your zoo. So these guys would get 13 here because they're in this little zone here. You can see as you get out, they get, you know, 22 in that range. So you get your 13 money. Reds get 10. Next thing is you look at your kiosks. These guys have got 2 kiosks. This one is going to earn 1 income for each open enclosure. So 1 income for that. This one's going to get 1 for that, 1 for that, because they're open is 2. So that's 3 income for your kiosks. You're then going to look at any of your cards. If there's certain symbols that have this little hand symbol at the top, I could look through the deck, but yeah, look for that hand symbol. You can generate money, maybe determined by how many of a certain type of animal you have in your zoo, primates, something like that. The next symbol is you look at the side here, and so let's just say we have taken this token and we put it on this conservation project. It's revealed now. Now these top 4 you're going to get each time they're purple every time we do the break phase. You also, it kind of reminds you get them instantly, so we'd have got 5 money straight away having revealed that, and this little hand symbol means now during the break phase we will get another 5 income. If it had have been this token, you'd get 1 movement up on the conservation track. Maybe you'd have got an extra 2 building to put out, or a card from snapping, that is, so you can take a card from anywhere. And at the bottom these are all instant, and you can see you're going to get 2 up on here. 12 money, but those are instant. Those don't apply for the break phase. So you've got all your income, you reset this back to wherever your player count is, run a 2-player game, and then you carry on. So whichever player activated, it was these, wasn't it? Whichever player activated the break would do their go first, to do everything they need to do. Then you'd play out the break phase. This goes back to 2, and the player clockwise to them would then go. Wowzers, that was a lot of information, and I'm just thinking, is there anything else I can talk about? So as you go through the game then, because I can't keep on playing Liberia for hours, but you're going to be getting more enclosures, you're going to be getting more bonuses from your board, you're going to be putting more animals which have more icons on. If you do fill your entire map, you get 7 extra appeal on here, which is more income and potentially speedens up your way to crossing those 2 tokens. You've got all your icons here, and you're going to need to have this symbol here, the build symbol, upgraded to access these 2. As you build your associations, you're going to need this association card upgraded to access these, which can get you more workers out, more activity on the conservation. Same with the universities, more bonuses as you go up. Your pavilions, when you build them, if I've not already mentioned, they get you instant appeal, which might be quite nice. It's 1 appeal per 1, and that is only a one-time thing. And when you get more conservation projects, you're going to be getting boosts on here, and gradually you're hoping to take advantage of these bonuses, and eventually, folks, once your appeal crosses, triggers game end. Whoever has the biggest gap between these, remember you're working out your lowest option in this conservation, so your lowest appeal is 76 from 83, say, gives you, or what's that, 7 is your score, which doesn't seem a lot, but that might win you the game. There we are, folks. Give this one a go. It's a fantastic play. There's so much, and I'm not joking. It feels like a massive game of Ganshon Clever. You're doing an action, and then you get a bonus, and then you can use that to do something else, and then, you know, you might upgrade something. You might have moved up here, and then it gives you this benefit. You know, you acquire an extra dude, which then you can use on another turn to go to the association track, which gets you this, to then, you know, bump up one of these other bonuses. So loads of great things to think about. I love the iconography across it. It helps explain everything to hand. You know, the information, the rules are quite a lengthy read, the rules, really. There's a lot of text, but they have some great examples of how to do things, and really well thought out. It looks stunning as well. There we go, folks. Enjoy.